Yes, everyone, welcome back to the channel. I've got another scout report for you today, and this one is a very, very special young man, someone destined for the top. He's 18 years of age. This is the sort of one that I think you can get so cheap, so obvious that he's going to the top, that I think it has to be one that you gamble on right now. United have been in the market for a right centre-half since the day Ten Hag stepped through the door. Varane, for the most part, has been first choice, and he is certainly, of the level that you would want to be bringing in. Genuine world-class player. Ton of experience, blah, 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 blah. But it was obvious after leaving Real Madrid, this was the downslope of his career. Now, he's been the first choice, but there's been limitations on the ball with him. And his injuries and this, that, and the other, it feels like, and not only injuries, there was a disagreement with Ten Hag where you're like, is he going to be on his bike here very soon? You've even seen Harry Maguire performing all right this season, and there are serious long-term doubts about both of their futures, Maguire and Varane. Then you got Lindelof, whose contract is up at the end of the season. United could lose 3 first-choice centre-backs, and that means the remaining one, outside of Johnny Evans, whose contract is up at the end of this season as well, so you could lose 4. The only other centre-half that you've got at the club outside of Willy Kambala is Martinez, who is seemingly injured all the time. So United have to go to market to buy a centre-half, right? Now, for me, there is a young man that is absolutely smashing it. He is a genuine talent, and that is Leny Yoro. Now, he is one of the most exciting prospects in all of Europe, and he's been tipped as one of the best young French centre-backs ever, which is a hell of a shout, isn't it? So if you want to replace Varane, get the new Varane. But what is it that makes him stand out? Now, for a centre-half, he's a little bit of a unicorn, because most centre-halves who break through early are usually identified as talents because they play a little bit like a veteran. And while Yoro is extremely mature out of possession for the most part, on the ball, he is still a little bit raw. But the potential with him is absolutely sky high. And that's not saying he's bad on the ball. In fact, it's the opposite. He's just raw. He's not got that sort of 30-year-old brain on the ball just yet. Now, if we look at what he brings, he is 6'3" at 18. He's got a strong build. He's got long legs. He is a great build for a central defender. And despite being lanky, he is still physical, he is athletic, he is technical, he is quick, and he is excellent in aerial duels. He's actually scored 3 goals this season, which puts him in the 86th percentile amongst centre-halves. When was the last time we had a goal-scoring centre-half? It was Vidic Airways, wasn't it, at corners, which is something that United just have not had for the longest time. Even though Maguire wins so many duels in the opposition boxes, he doesn't score goals for us. He scored goals for Leicester. He doesn't really score goals at all for us from those positions. Now, when it comes to ball control and dribbling with Yoro, he is composed. He steps up and carries the ball real nice. He's got confidence under high-pressure situations, making him a little bit on the press-resistant side. He uses that technical ability to dribble past people. He averages 72 touches per 90 in the defensive and middle third areas. The success rate for his take-ons is 87.5%, which puts him in the 90th percentile, and 60 carries per 90, which puts him in the 94th percentile. So, like I said, he isn't bad on the ball. He's just raw, but he's getting a lot of reps in on the ball. So you would expect him to really improve that area of what he's got. Now, when it comes to his passing, he's got strong passing skills. The short, the medium, the long range, they're all there. He's capable of that Van Dijk-esque sort of diag to the wingers or to an overlapping fullback in space. He averages 58.7 complete passes per 90 with a 92% pass completion. Short passing completion is 96%, which puts him in the 97th percentile. Medium completion rate of 95%, which puts him in the 94th percentile. And a long completion rate of 61%, which is lower down in the 57th percentile. When it comes to defensive sort of abilities, quite often what you will get is you will get a stopper and you will get a cover. Now, what was great about someone like Jaap Stam is Jaap Stam could do both. He was going to go bosh and smash you, but also if the ball is played in behind him, he has got the pace to cover it. Rio and Vidic were the most obvious stopper and cover that I think has ever existed in football as a partnership. Vidic is the one that's going to steam in there, break his nose and be the one seen to be stopping, and Rio would use his pace and his reading of the game to be able to go and cover in behind. Now, the interesting thing about Yoro is that he could do both. As a stopper, he tackles attackers with their back to goal using the long legs, and he reads it intelligently, and he manages to get around. As a cover, he uses the awareness, his positional sense, timing, acceleration, and those long legs to sort of track runners and recover balls. He's got a real excellent ability to intercept. Again, due to those long legs, the positioning, the awareness. And I think you can already see that he isn't just relying on being physical and charging around the place. A little bit what makes Manu stand out is that there's an IQ there, there's an awareness, there's an intelligence for defending rather than relying solely just on maybe being a touch quicker than everybody else. So that is what makes him stand out for me. This is a guy that knows what he's doing. And that's what I want to see brought into the United squad. Now, one thing that he is excellent at is covering the channels. So this has sort of been an adaptation in more recent years. You see defenders, central defenders, defending less as a back four or even a back three. Now you're seeing them defend more and more often as a back two. And Yoro's exceptional at covering those wide areas when a fullback gets caught out high up the pitch, either inverting or overlapping. And he's got a great attitude when applying himself in the tackle as well. When defending out in the channels, he seems to be really good at picking his moments. The first protocol is always delay, and then he can pinch the ball, he can block, he's just got it. His reading of the game for 18 is top. And he's proficient in defending those wider areas with potential to even improve in those wider areas as well. And while I would call him more of a front foot defender, I think you could see him adapt to being the cover defender, especially if he came and played for United, where United quite often ask our defence to probably play 2v2 or 3v3, or occasionally if someone leaves a full three up that are a threat against us, we're going to go 4 against their 3. You would see him then probably adapt to being a lot more of a cover, and rather than steaming in, he would probably sit off. And I think he would complement Martinez really well. He's a similar height to Varane, and he's a similar style to what Varane was like when he was coming through. And that's what makes me think that these two probably could do it together. You could see Martinez being the one that steps in, smashes someone, and Yoro being the one that maybe sits off and covers a little bit. Like I said, there's a lot of room for improvement with him. He's 18, so you're not necessarily thinking finished product right now, but you are thinking that this is a kid that could absolutely be a central defender for United for the next 10 years or so. I think he's absolutely brilliant. He's going to become a complete centre-half. He's going to be someone that ends up playing for the French national team, which is probably the most stacked national team that's out there. He's very, 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 very good, and I'm not sure what his price would be at the moment, but if it's 30 million or less, I think he's absolutely worth taking a gamble on. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I will see you in the next one. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.